Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
Benvenuti to a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast. Mike, ciao, come stai? How are you?
Yeah, I'm grand, mate. How you doing? You good?
Pretty good. Another week together. Mike, last week we were here commenting the great performance of Italy against Australia and the victory. Here we are today for the loss against the Springboks in Turin after a really great battle, to be fair. I think it was a really great battle between the two teams. Tell me everything about this game from your perspective, please.
Yeah, I mean, listen, first things first, not many people beat the Springboks, right? That's let's just caveat the whole conversation. Let's preface it with that. You have to be a pretty special team, regardless of the changes. Was there 10 plus World Cup winners in that team? You know, it was going to be an uphill battle. So I think first things first, I just want to say we need to taper our expectations. You know, we've said multiple times, as in, and I'm not talking about you and I, because I think we understand that it's a process, but I mean just Italian fans in general. We beat Australia. You know, we came in with some confidence. We played, you know, some really attractive rugby even before any of, you know, the decisions. But we need to understand that there is still a bit of a gap between us and the best teams. And, you know, this is what we're doing now. This is what Quesada's doing. This is what the whole summer was for. It's to build depth and try and close that gap. So, in my opinion, to answer your question now directly, we had a really good game plan at the start, you know, and then you give South Africa a reason to unleash the beast, and, you know, Rassie with some of, you know, at the time I thought incredibly questionable, like the amount of, you know, chopping and changing he was doing early doors. The guy's a genius, right? And it goes to show later on in the game. I think for us, right?
Something planned from a long time ago. Not something. Look, it's just a mix of the two teams that play against us this tour. Each of them had to prove something after those two games against us. So this was the game where they can show everything, and they did it. But please continue, Mike.
I was going to say, for us, right, we at the start were putting them under pressure, some really nice kicks behind the blitz. We were playing very similar to like how England would play, just like those kicks behind, and then, you know, New Zealand as well, those small grubber kicks behind the blitz, just you know, trying to make yards. Capuozzo did some fantastic little kicks around the back as well, and we were competing at set piece, which, when have we ever set, even against the Six Nations teams, we've struggled, but we can see with like Spaniol, and we can see about like the improvement at scrum time. This was the yardstick we needed to see where we're at and what we still need to improve. And I think the biggest issue for us, Otto, is game management, right? We don't know how to win games like this. We just don't, because the team's so good. The team is so good. It's so good. I think if it was, you know, I don't know, like we had, yeah, it's tough, isn't it? But the team is just too good. Now I want to hear your opinion. Your opinion. Give it to me, Otto.
Man, it's hard to win this game, but also because they are specialists in this scoring in the last minutes. We shared this already, but I will share it again, Mike, just to give an idea. Like, not 34% of the tries scored by the Springboks this year in the last quarter of the game. They scored 23 tries in that time, and not only against us, 3 against the France, Japan, Argentina, New Zealand, Georgia, 2 against us this summer. So we actually were really competitive for 70 minutes, Mike. 70 minutes, really competitive. 70 minutes where we were under the gap, which is crazy if we were thinking this 2 weeks ago. Like, this is gonna be the game. You're gonna be under one try difference between you and the Springboks with 10 minutes to play. I mean, it's great, and for me, it's great. The game plan was the right one because you want to keep them far away from your area, far away from like pushing them there, so they have to kick you back, and you're gonna stay there, and minutes goes, and time goes, and that way you can manage better also from strike play to move them with two instead of keeping and fighting on the edge every time off nine. We are not that kind of team, and we show
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, Otto? Because like we really tried to sort of exploit the wings. We were trying to attack that edge very quickly. I think maybe
the
there
switch
was
behind the rack to Mike many times, opening on the right but switching and passing on the left with
that was trying to
the
counter the blitz, wasn't it? Because they were
yes,
blitzing hard on one side and they would always lag on the other. So doing that switch behind the ruck, that's quite similar to what they do in rugby league, right? Like if you're going to fake one way, the hooker runs one way and then it opens up space on the left hand side for a pop pass or switch. We saw a couple of those plays. We saw Zuliani with Menoncello trying to do a switch that was off a switch from the scrum as well, just trying to from the ruck, sorry, trying to pop it
from the
inside
mall on
from
that
the maul. Sorry, yes, yeah, sorry,
mall.
from the maul,
That was one
exactly.
of the opportunity in the 22 that we didn't score. Then there was a bad one because it was a really good line, but pass communication, position of the hands, timing was not that accurate. But that was great.
Timing was the big one for me.
But
I think, yeah,
about
stuff like
Menoncello, Mike, there was also the other switch with Varney passing the ball on the left and coming in, and then the pass inside for Menoncello that is able to give him take some meters, and then there is the Brex kick behind. In that
yeah,
situation, which is really similar to the situation of Capozzo scoring because it's a ball inside, different kind of pressure from the defense, but there is some similarity into those situation. Mike, in which one is the area where we struggle the most, or you think we should have been better? Or
I mean, for
you said
decision making,
game management decisions.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
bring me please the exact, like, what happened
I,
in the field, which situation for you we should have been scoring, going for the line out, tap and go scrum. I think everybody's thinking that moment, which is
yeah,
the
yeah.
second yellow card for the Springboks.
The second, yeah. So it was
Penalty for us, and
Van Staden,
we
yeah,
go for the 3 points
yeah,
instead of maybe trying something different with two players out.
yeah. I mean,
You think
listen,
that one of the situation was
that one
probably
hurt.
the key moment?
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt because you're playing. So for context, for those of you guys who may be catching up on the game, so there was a red card which we're going to discuss because I think we have to discuss it in a
Oh
second.
yeah,
But at 40 minutes, give or take, I think it was around about half time. You probably have it chopped up, so you can tell me if I'm wrong. But there was a yellow card, right, given, and it was for Van Standen, the 8, right, Marco Van Standen. What we
yes.
should have done there is go for the scrum because there were two forwards missing, which means that either they put 7 in or 6 in,
Like
right?
they did with
And
Uber in that moment, like this, they bring the center inside.
and for context, for those of you guys who haven't watched the game or are planning to watch the game, we had scrum dominance. We had scrum dominance when it was 15 against 15. So at that point where we had scrum dominance before, obviously all the big boys came off the bench and quickly it turned to poop. We should have scrum there because at worst we get a scrum penalty and a free play. At worst, at best, we maybe get a penalty try, a yellow card, because it's tough to defend those, especially when you don't have that scrum dominance, or we potentially force Razzie to make a change sooner than he wants. And then again, we're in a position where, it's out of whack. Obviously, they plan for stuff like this much better than we do. But for me, that was an absolute key point, Otto. I am the scoreboard pressure guy, but scoreboard pressures scoreboard pressures when you're not in contention of scoring a try. If you're out at the end of if you're just in the 40-meter mark, knock them
Right.
over. If you're 5 meters out, why are you taking a kick with 13 players on the pitch? That's my opinion on it. Anyway,
I'm gonna try to be the opposite of this. Maybe that is the moment, because then you can just breathe after those 3 points and start again. Because what is gonna do the Springboks? Probably gonna kick back. They're gonna give you another opportunity, probably from line out, where you can attack with a really different scenario in front of you, because you can do meters with a driving maul against with a team with 2 players less, or you can open the ball if they come tight. So everything can happen, Mike. I understand that was a moment. If I'm trying to look on the other perspective, the two tries that they scored, probably we could have been better in those situations, because the Vandenberg try, we have to defend better 5 meters away from a scrum. One of the few scrums from the Springboks in this game that was crazy to think that was able to turn a little bit, so there was that tempo more to attack for the 9. That situation, and probably the only too long box kick of literally of the game for our scrum halves, because you have to put pressure on Willems, and Willems doesn't have to be able to open that ball and go wide on the opposite side. That's why we were commenting this on before the pod. It reminds me a lot like the scoring of Niniashvili against us last year, because it was the only moment we kick in a certain way. We missed the kick too long, and he was able to counterattack. And in this way, the only one really long, they counterattack. But anyway, great game, Mike. Come on.
Oh, again, listen, I don't think we're lamenting ourselves at all. Like, I don't think
Wallace.
What's that? Sorry. Oh, hi Wallace. How are you doing? Yeah, no, I don't think we're complaining at all. I think, for me, it's more that we have now experienced, these situations, and we need to learn from them. Like you said, the one where it almost feels like a little bit of deja vu. Those are the ones that sting the most, because you think, okay, we've learned from it.
Vandenberg scored him way two games ago against us.
So Otto's probably gonna, if he can, chop him up. But he sent me the exact comparison. It's almost identical try, just on the other side. But I think from my side, it's also, I try and think, okay, what would the best teams in the world do? What would New Zealand do in that situation? What would England do in certain situations where game management for me was a little bit, more key? If we know that the boot isn't working, right, let's go to the corner. Let's take a risk with the corner. For me, those are the little situations where 8 points lost off the boot. Maybe we start adapting how we're looking to utilize platforms in attack and little things like that. That's game management. That's inaccuracies. That's unfortunate stuff. I am going to bring it up though, because I think we have to. Let's talk about the red card.
Yes,
I'm going to be sort of very honest. I don't want to disparage anyone. I don't want to talk about it. When I saw it, I thought it was a shoulder charge, and I thought it was a yellow card. It looked worse with the elbow raised in certain angles, but I don't know if there's head contact. I don't know if there's direct head contact. And I think that's exactly why those 20-minute red cards exist, right? If it's
should have been the best decision, right, in this game. Yes,
right.
I agree. I was surprised, as I was pretty surprised about the Lorenzo Cannone yellow card. That looked soft to a little bit too soft.
Did you hear Casada's comments about Vincent? incensed after the game. Obviously, we're like we said, we caveated it with we're not here to dig anyone up. We're not going to, but just because Quesada mentioned it, I want to say it where he was like, "How is it that the 9 can push and then we retaliate and we're the ones that instigate the penalty right at the start?" But anyway, I think taking out the referees, because I think the game was a bit bitty and it takes away from what was a really exciting spectacle for both teams. The controversy and all of that stuff that came from that. We know the Box are great with that. Like, we knew that.
Oh yeah.
But even before that, I felt like we had a very positive attacking brand. I felt like there was some really good stuff that we were doing, and it's almost like after that point we started overplaying Otto.
But the last 10 minutes, yes, but because we were in our half trying to move the ball, but we were really tired, and it was easy then for to defend. But first half, great, because if you think how much possession we had in the first 20 minutes, opening 20 minutes, and that is key, because you had possession, you didn't let them score, which is something that didn't happen last week against Australia. Fantastic. So we know how to manage how to start a game, seems like, and that is fundamental key for us for the future. Keep pushing in this moment to reach the 80 minutes, because we are missing some minutes in this. We always have. We're talking about this now. 10 minutes during the game where we should be something different, decision, points, but pretty decision, let's say. Like, this decision,
blackout 10 minutes.
Yes. But yes, Riccioni was great, Kakor, and we're gonna go into this. Mike, we are almost there. What I'm saying, to perform 80 minutes strong, consistently, 3 weeks together, because that is fantastic. If we put 80 minutes, 70 minutes, okay, against Australia, plus the 70 minutes against South Africa, fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people, like I said at the start, we won against Australia, and all of a sudden, we go into that fantasy land as fans that we think, we can compete against the best, and there's still work to do. Like, there's plenty of work to do. There's plenty of work to do from the Australia game where we left 2 or 3 tries out, and we knew that we wouldn't have been able to do that against South Africa, and we didn't take our chances when we had them in the first half. And again, it came to, unfortunately, to bite us in the arse, right? Like, let's be honest, right? But with regards to everything else, Otto, I am so happy with the direction Italy are going. I'm so happy with what Quesada's doing. I'm so happy with how the players are performing under him. So happy with selection. That I cannot fault how hard the boys are playing, what the coach is putting on the pitch.
Effort and the style also, Mike. That is important. For example, I don't think this game we should blame too much Paolo Garbisi, I think, because last week was crazy what he did. But I'm gonna show you the comparison between the two kick at goal in the 2 games. And of course, on the left side, Australia, on the right side, South Africa. Let's see, he was so good that he scored the right ones, or even the most difficult one on the extreme right, far right. But he missed the same kick that he put in last week, and too far away, let's say. These are position Padovanesque, right? Yeah. Kind of position from there. Pagerello. Who else kicked from there?
Trulla, yeah.
But anyway, so I don't think he's on everything is on Garbisi, because I think he played really well also this game.
I do. I did see
able to move the ball and do good stuff.
Yeah, I did see a South African fan actually mention that maybe he should have gone for HIA, just because he looked a little bit off pace after the contact. Like I said, whether it's head contact or not, I think only the people involved know. But yeah, it's one of those where if there was, then he probably should have gone for HIA just to make sure, because he didn't look right on the kick. But everything else, the assist, when we're going to come to talk about that, like you said, the passes, the intricate passes, the small kicks he was doing, still a lot of good in his game. He's a
Well,
fantastic
good. I love also. We should talk about how good was Willems, Mike, because probably man of the match for us, literally for us, both of us, because it's crazy how much he was able to keep the pace of the game, covering everything behind there. It's fantastic. He was everywhere, tackling and putting pressure. How many times we went so close to, okay, probably we're gonna do something. Van der Merwe cover, and then 3-4 times Willems. Fantastic fullback performance from him.
He's just right place, right time every single time. Like, frustratingly, I don't think he put. I can't think of a mistake he made. He was just.
Oh, and also the first step. The first step every time he attack, counter attack from halfway line. Every time he skipped the first, so it's fantastic. So we had to fight against Willems in this like on fire this week. And I think what it's great the idea, because by the way we tried so well. We were so close in some situation that was much more one of mistakes. Pass too hard, so knock on those situations more than they steal a ball, they want a turnover in a crazy situation. It's our fault on some stuff more than ever.
Listen, there's a lot of stuff that we could have controlled in that game. Willems being maybe like the best he has played is not one of them. Unfortunately, it's not one of them. But yeah, listen, like, kudos to the team to adapting, and what do you think of Pollard? He is like, he's metronomic, isn't he? He reminds me a lot of, like, it's like the almost like the Finn Russell Hastings argument, where Hastings is metronomic.
Pollard is still so young. If you think he's 30. I don't think he's 30, 31, I think 31, not neither 32, 31.
Well, let's tell us, mate, if you know. But yeah, he's young. He's young. He's there for another cycle, for sure.
Yeah, for another cycle, yes. But also he covers so well on a Menoncello hard run under the post. He covers so well there. That was one of the key moments of the game too, because if you stop him there, it was a classic flat breaks first receiver. Something we didn't see last week. We saw a couple of times this time. But Mike, crazy stat of the week: Menoncello passed more ball than Brex this weekend against the Springboks. 6 times Menoncello, 5 times Brex.
Yeah,
probably it's the first time that Menoncello passed more times than Brex in a game.
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it's because, and I don't know if you noticed as well, at the start they were putting a lot of pressure on Garbisi. I don't know if they then were like, okay, well, if they're going to put pressure on let's pass it over to someone who maybe doesn't have the responsibility to distribute as much as they normally do. I don't know if that's the logic behind it, but it was, yeah, it is interesting. I've got a question for you though, Otto, and it's something that I don't think many people have spoken about it, but obviously our friends, the South Africans with Rassie, rotated a lot of the squad, and they obviously Rassie quoted that it was, World Cup preparation. They learned from, last
right.
World Cup, like we said in the preview, right? So for those of you guys who haven't watched it, watch the preview. Explains a lot of what Rassie said in the pre-match selection video. Do you think we should have followed suit with some of the positions where the players have played a lot of rugby? Because obviously a lot of these players have played a lot of rugby in the URC. They played a lot of rugby abroad. Looking at Paolo, look at Menoncello, and do you think fatigue came into it? Do you think we need to be better with trying to understand that, or do you think it's better to try and understand where we're at as a team with our best team, regardless of energy levels? Like, what's your opinion as an ex-coach?
No, but it's interesting. I think we should try to push these limits for us, because if we have to play every time two great games, the Six Nation is this.
Yeah.
It's England the next week, France next week, Ireland. So you have to be ready, whatever, no matter what. And I love the way we manage, for example, in these two games, Ruzza, and now I think next game is gonna start maybe with another different player, interesting player, who know, from Bath maybe, but some different combination, because we have now the opportunity to have players ready to play 160 minutes of rugby with a bit less. Example with Roots at Zambonina, and you think, man, that guy knows how to work around the breakdown, tackling, and being the line out engineer. So fantastic. That is an example. Then we don't have depth in other position. That's why Menoncello always will play until we don't have really a beast better than Menoncello, or a different approach on the centers, because it's another idea. We can do that kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
And Mike,
It's interesting, isn't it?
I think we tried, probably the team we saw now is going to be the team that is going to play the toughest game against I don't know who, but let's say Six Nation. We have to win against Wales. They're going to put this team is going to be the team that is going to play. I don't see many changes in the starting 15 at the moment.
No, unless the injuries and stuff. It's interesting because I think actually this is one of the strongest teams we've had at our disposal. Obviously, you can argue the toss with a few of the players that are injured. Obviously, Lucchesi probably would have been in over Di Bar, even though that's argument. That's debate, you know. You could probably say Trulla might have been in as well at some place, like might have popped up in. I don't know, but yeah, I agree. I think this is. I think we could have fielded, to be honest. So, you know, it's
and also
it's
because
good.
we had the opportunity to let grow players, because we went with Zanon, Menoncello this summer at the centers, and Dare playing. I mean, it's important to see how we had that opportunity there, and now to play with let's say the best team, the best players, and get so close. Then was that close like the first game, because it was minus 18 points, but still it's so different the way it came. This minus 18.
Yeah. I mean, even if you take out the 8 points as well, man, even if you add, the 8 points, it looks like a credible score, let alone, like you said, 2 soft tries at the end. Grant Williams, man, like how quick is that man? He's lightning.
Perfect. But the step from Moody, where everything started there on the wing line, was really good.
Yeah,
Williams said top player. And Mike,
this is what I wanted to quickly
about
highlight, Otto. On this, you said maybe an interesting player at 5. I want to see him in the back row. I want to see him in the back row. I think he could be a B-state. I think he could be a B-state. I think he could be a B6. Like that's where I want to see him play.
I mean, if he became 6, that means that starts running like crazy in the field.
As long as he can lose the weight, mate. Like I think he's that for me. I think is the position where we need the most go forward. We don't have it. 8 on the pitch. Like imagine him picking and going at the base of the ruck is 145 kilos, mate. He's 6'5", 145 kilos. When do we ever have players like that? He's not going to get lifted in the lineup, mate.
Who doesn't know about this player we're talking about? Obogu Gianfi, the young under 20 Italian player at Bath University in Bath, and of course Bath team probably will play. Who knows? Maybe he's gonna play lock, I think, in this Mike. But you are thinking about a different future, different path for him to follow up. I would say that because Vincent is out, we don't have Sabnegri, the number 6 and the ball carrier. Who you gonna put at 6 against Chile? Jack Ferrari, Odiase, Lamaro is a 7, is gonna play 7. Who's gonna be your 6? Favretto, Ruzza.
It's probably going to be Odiase, just because he's had the opportunity to play against the world champions twice now, right? So like, it's probably going to be him.
Okay, Odiase 6 against Chile.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, I know
No
people.
8, Mike.
Huh?
No, at 8.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? Like, do you think Cannone is? He's not injured or anything, is he? Lorenzo.
No, we have 2 injuries, Vincent and Tommy Allen. Those 2 only injured players.
The thing is, right? This is more of a discussion, and I can see the boys in the chat. And guys, if you're watching on X, come over to YouTube, because we're referencing a lot of the chat here, and I know we can't see the X comments in real time. A lot of the chat, and even the chat, before, is, we need to be, careful with like our selection, and we want sort of structure and stuff. If we're looking to build depth, right, if we can't do it against Chile, right, respectfully, right, and I don't mean like mass changes and putting out like a
fresh new
CD team, right, but respectfully, if we're not going to put players where we're comfortable making changes, and if they're struggling, we take them off the bench like Razzie did against us last weekend, right? When are we going to do it? So if we're concerned about players, standard, Todaro is another person that I would love to see play, right? When are we going to do it if we're not going to do it now? We're not going to do it during the Six Nations. I'll tell you that for free.
So your idea is to put them from the starting team, or in the second half from the bench, 10 minutes at the end?
You don't learn. I don't know.
No,
maybe it's me. I don't think you learn
that
enough.
is interesting. You don't learn if you just put 10 minutes at the end of a game that is already in a certain way.
Yeah.
Positive or negative.
Right. That's my opinion on it. Listen, like I don't think I'm necessarily right, but I just think you learn more seeing how they adapt to a game and like the pace of the game, and then obviously having game changers on the bench, right? The finishers coming in, and if things aren't going as you anticipate, you use the bench to win the game.
How many co-captains we have? 4?
I think 25 in a 23 man.
No, just thinking, okay, if Lamar is fit and he's starting, okay, he's gonna be the 7th starting, Zuliani from the bench, maybe. If Odiase will play, who's gonna be the 8? Is gonna be Favoretto 6 or not? Odiase 8.
That's actually nice call. I would like to see Favoretto 6, maybe.
So Favoretto 6, Odiase 8, Lamaro 7.
Yes, like that. I like that a lot.
Okay. Locks.
Zambonini's played a lot, hasn't he? It has. Yeah, I would see that. I would say, yeah, and then Zambonin on the bench.
Zambonin on the bench. Yes, Cannone needs to rest more.
He needs rest. Yeah.
And Spagnolo starting, Mike.
Why not? He deserves it, doesn't he?
Spagnolo Asa on the left side.
As long, yeah, I can see it. I was going to say I really like Riccioni's found his mojo.
Riccioni Ferrari.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that either.
We don't have more than those, but Riccioni. Man, the path of the hero almost completed for Riccioni this week. Just for that fall. Man, that last scrum really hurts. Because Steven. Come on, we were
Stephen
so
Sharp,
bad.
Stephen Sharp. Stephen, no, Sharp. Stephen, don't be saying that. Stephen's just said we definitely should be good enough to beat Chile with some changes, but it would be the most Italian thing ever to beat Australia, play well against South Africa, and then lose to Chile. Don't be saying that. Those days are past us now. Like they're in the past. Let's not talk about that anymore.
Then let's see. Pajero not in great form after his injury. A little bit shy the way he's playing. Pajero. I remember him a little much more I don't give a shit about what's happening. Let's play. Let's move the ball. Like kind of player more than really the composure that he had. I don't know, kind of different, Mike. But is it Varney still starting, or is gonna be the game for Garbisi starting, or Pajero Garbisi with Varney out for this?
No, I'd have Garbisi, Varney. If we're going, it depends. It depends if your preference is to have like players get a cheeky 5-10 minutes just to cap them at the end and not learn anything about them. That's
Okay.
fine. If that's the case, then you put your strongest team on, so you blow them out the water, and then you put players in, so if it goes tits up, it's still out. The game is out of reach, and you can So it depends on your preference. If it's going to be slightly more experimental starting team, I want the strongest players on the bench, so the bench can come in and change it. That's my opinion, right?
So
That's how I would do it.
So Garbisi is gonna be on the bench, and Dare is gonna
Garbisi
start.
needs game time. Yeah, Garbisi start, and then I'd have Varney on the bench.
Okay, and Garbisi Paolo on the bench, or no bench Garbisi and Dare starting.
This is where I'd maybe say Marin might be
12 or 10, because
both.
you want to rest some both.
Both.
22.
Both. Yeah, he's
10, 12, 22.
he's going to play all the positions.
Tombola.
Don't worry about that. But yeah, well, here's the thing, right? We've got Dodaro, who push comes to shove can play 12, right? No one is talking to him as a credible 12 option. That's the position that he learned to play rugby.
Well, he also
I wouldn't
fullback.
mind-
He used to play a
and
lot.
fullback, yeah. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing him there if we had to, right? So we have the option of putting him on the wing or putting him at fullback, depending on your preference. And then we've got, we've got an option where if there is, an injury, he can slot in at 12. And again, we need to start developing what South Africa have done, what, France at a push have done, but what have, like the best teams where they find players that can adapt to any situation. We need to start practicing that. Yeah, practicing game management. Perfect. What Wallace just put, that's exactly what we need to do.
And Mike, you think so the approach of this game is going to be kind of like Italy-Portugal with Crowley, like those players, they have to figure it out from minute one, or it's going to be much more...
You know what's interesting about that game? He got a lot of shit about that, but look at the players that he capped in that game and look where they are now. Maybe we went too much too soon, but I'm not saying change everyone. I'm saying change the areas that you want to see depth. I'm saying still have a strong team, like team that's strong enough to beat, again, respectfully, Chile, but have it so that we're learning about the positions that we need to learn about and the players that we need to learn about. If we're just taking them just to cap them for the sake of capping them, then that for me just seems like we're not learning anything,
Okay, let's read this. The game against Uruguay at the last Rugby World Cup springs to mind. We had a poor enough first half that changed gears in the second and won quite well, if I remember correctly. +2 yellow card, one crazy one, with the Uruguayan player pulling up the leg of our player and then crash everything. But who is ready to play this game, Mike? Come on, who needs to rest?
Do you want to do a 1 to 15? Do you want to do the starting 15?
We already did this, but let's see on the center, because that probably is the more complicated situation between center wingers. How you gonna put this team in? Cabotz is gonna still playing. Johan, Elina, who most important to stay in the field and in free space, because Belloni can play 14. Yes, he played already against South Africa. Why don't he cannot play against Chile? Now is my point.
Yeah. He deserves game time.
He's gonna commit mistakes. Okay, let's see how good or how bad is Marin at 12. Yes, 13. Menoncello, Mike. Menoncello will play. Quesada said that, right?
He did. Yeah, he did in the post match. He said that.
Settimana prossima. Talking about that situation that you mentioned about the flat pass pop, Zuliani crash with Menoncello from the mall. Yuan 11 is gonna be Yuan 11.
I think if you
we have out Pani, Todaro, Belloni, Marin. These players, they didn't play at all. And Dare.
yeah, Pani, I would like to see play because he needs to build his confidence back. He needs game time. But I don't. For me, it's a bit of a risk to play just because I don't think he's looked 100% since he's played. Like, we know what he can do at his best, and we know how fantastic a player he is. But if you're not going to play him now, when are you going to play him? So yeah, fuck it, let's get Pani in. Why not?
Okay, so it's gonna be like a full 5 changes, 5 players in again, as you're saying, because probably Marina 12. You're gonna have Belloni, Pani, Todaro, and you're gonna have Dare 10. 9. You said Varney bench, Garbisi starting. So
Yes.
that is a little bit of the situation. But let's see, Mike. We're gonna wait for Thursday for the team. Team is gonna be out. We're gonna play in Genoa. But Mike, before ending up this pod, we should mention this, I think, because it's exciting about the games, but the Nation Championship 2026, the games are out. So this July we will play against Japan, All Blacks and Wallabies away, and again in November, Mike, we're gonna play Springboks, Pumas, and Fiji. Your thoughts about these games? How do you like the games we will play this year, next year?
Listen, I know this is getting a lot of stick, but it's not from me. I think this is brilliant. I think we know who we're going to play ahead of time, so we can market it. I know that we can obviously try and make sure that, from a ticket sales standpoint, that we're really pushing and driving these. We know the quality of the opposition. We know that there's going to be points on offer. More importantly, from the games that we're playing, we're not going to gain anything or lose any. Well, we might lose something from Chile, but we're not going to gain anything from Chile. These are important games for us. And it's important games for us now ahead of the World Cup, because a lot of these teams we're going to face. So I love it. I'm really happy. I quite like it as how they're going to structure it and how the plan is for the playoffs and all of that good stuff. I love that.
Mike, we played for 1 year. We're going to play the extended rugby championship as invited team, looks like. If you think about this, you have the 4 team of the former rugby championship plus Japan and Fiji. From that side, I know Japan is not from the Pacific side, but still, guys, you know how it works. It's cool, Mike, to play these games. They offer so much, like, different scenarios. Every team is so different. Like the game against Fiji, it's so interesting. At the end of this long year, plus the Six Nations, is gonna be so exciting. And seems like for next year is gonna be last year for the Udine, Torino, Genova, I think. Udine, Torino, Genova team. So I don't know if the Springboks will play somewhere else. Maybe they're gonna play in Genova again, the Springboks, Los Pumas in Torino, and maybe Fiji in Udine. Can be something.
I could be on board with that. Are you excited about that? Are you happy that it's moving back to Rome? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I would like to see them around. Like, think about if next year there were not let's say these 3 preset stadium. One, maybe next year, Florence Stadium, Artemio Franchi is going to be ready after the new work they're doing in the Curva Fiesole on the left side. So maybe think about bringing there again the Springboks in November. How cool could it have been?
That would be so cool. I'm on board.
Bringing Los Pumas to the south, close to Napoli, I don't know, Salerno, Benevento, something wild.
That'd be awesome.
For Los Pumas, yes. And Fiji, bring the Fiji to under the volcano. Bring the Fiji to Catania. I don't know. Something more like that, Mike.
Yeah, we need to find a way. If we're going to branch out,
bring another team to Parma in the in the big stadium.
Yeah. I was gonna say if we're planning on branching out, and this is like a proof, POC proof a concept of the World Cup, we need to branch out further than the north just to see if there is some appetite from fans to watch it. And like if we're looking at Argentina, so many people came from southern Italy. Like this, it seems like
That's why the connection Argentina-Italy is so big. Like Genova. Genova is another place because from Genova, the ferries they went to Buenos Aires. So this connection, Genoa and Argentina, it's crazy. Bring Fiji in Val Gardena on Dolomite next too. I don't remember which game was the one where some of the Fijians players, when they came to play in Italy, I think in Padua, it was snowing, and it was the first time they saw the snow.
I didn't see this.
Last
bet that was probably
15 years, guys. Probably you remember some of that. Caccolo, ti ricordi qualcosa? You should go do for a rotation to big depth. Let's see. Then let's see. Chile is gonna be by the way, an interesting game because they have some individuality, really interesting to watch, Mike. That is a great stuff, but we're gonna talk about this in another episode. But for now, Mike, where are we with Quesada? What do you think after this second game and the way he's speaking? Is it the right man at the right moment for us? And my question is, should we try already to renew his contract?
Yes, on all accounts.
After 2027, so we can go play a fucking Rugby World Cup, knowing that the same coach will stay more.
That's what I was going to say. I thought you meant renew after. No, renew before.
Renew it next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we're going to build something, we always chop and change and chop and change and chop and change. Right? We need a period of extended time with the same coach. Like I look at some of the fantastic coaches we've had in the past. O'Shea, we're looking at, and I'm talking about the recent past, right? O'Shea and Kieran Crowley and stuff, like fantastic players. I think it's really important for us to make sure that Quesada is looked after. He's doing great things. He's passionate. Like you don't kick the billboard because you're upset with the referee. You kick it because you're like you have an attachment to the players. You're disappointed for the players. That is so important for me. Like he bleeds the same blood we do. Like yeah, 100%.
Great, Mike. I think that's it for today. We saw Erasmus magic. We saw them Springboks playing their style, putting up the ball in the air, creating something from zero. We saw how close to a great Italy we'll see at the World Cup, right? And let's remind, mamma mia, Italia-Fiji 24-16, marcatori Bergamasco, Mirko. My God, this is memory. This is like for Simone. Simone knows everything. Probably is gonna remember this one too. But anyway, guys, see you again soon here on Rugby. Fratelli di Rugby, and also Mike, I'm gonna be in Genoa, so if you're in Genoa, guys, for Italia Chile, let's meet somewhere. There is a great pub where we can go after the game. And,
all the pubs,
all the pubs, all the places, all the steps, and all the steps of the world. This time, no steps, Mike. I'm close by the sea almost. I'm by the sea. Don't have to. So, Mike, thanks again, guys. Subscribe, give us a like, comment during the week because we are happy to read everything you have to say about rugby, Italian rugby, Springboks, Wallabies. And see you everyone. Zanni, Galdenais, Del Fava, Della Pe, Castro Giovanni, Festuccia, Perugini, Lo Cicero, Mallet,